Welcome to Lana's homestead and my one-year permaculture garden. I've taken it from grass to sheet mulch to thriving food forest. Join me today as I harvest butternut squash and carrots, make veggie broth and butternut squash soup. Hi, so today we are ready to harvest some butternut squash, which I'm really excited about. I've been waiting. As you can see, I've got two big ones right here that are ready. You can tell because they are pretty hard now. When they were younger, they were pretty soft and squishy. They're pretty hard now, and they were a green color, and now they are a tan color, so we know that they are ready to harvest. Also, the little node at the bottom of the squash should turn from a green color to a brown color. The tan color of the squash can vary, so you can also just bring it in and leave it on your windowsill for a while until it becomes a darker tan color. Roughly chop the celery. So for the carrots, I removed the ends and I decided to peel the carrots because they were just pretty dirty. They had a lot of dirt on them, so that's why I decided to peel them, but I don't think it's necessary since we're not actually going to save any of these ingredients. We're just going to discard them. But it is going to boil, and then we're obviously going to use the broth, so that's why I decided to peel the carrots and just remove any dirt that was on them. So put all the ingredients in a pot, including the 2 bay leaves. Then you fill the pot up 3/4 full with water. Bring that to a boil. And then you just simmer. You want to reduce and simmer for about 2 hours or until the liquid is reduced by half. Now that the broth is ready, you need to remove all of the vegetables from it. You can do it this way, or an easier way would just be to get another bowl underneath and then dump it into a strainer and then discard or compost the ingredients. So this is the done broth now. As you can see, it's a very pretty golden color. So these are the butternut squash soup ingredients. Some coconut milk, a butternut squash, the vegetable broth, half of an onion, and a clove of garlic. Also a half teaspoon of fresh or dried thyme. So you just want to chop up your 1/4 of an onion. I like to smash the garlic clove to easily remove the skin, and then I use a garlic mincer to mince the garlic. So this is definitely the most difficult part of the butternut squash soup, but totally worth it because it's so much better than like the canned stuff, or I would say even the stuff that you would get at like Panera. So the squash is really difficult to cut, so you can have a really sharp knife, that helps a lot, or you can also alternatively put the squash in the microwave for a few minutes to soften it up, and it's a little bit easier to cut. So you want to remove the seeds, and then I had a couple methods I tried. This one is with a peeler. I kind of found this one more difficult. The skin is really tough, and that is why you want to remove it. It's not something you really want to eat. So the other option is to just use a very sharp knife to just kind of very lightly cut and just remove the skin. You don't want to remove the squash. I found this simpler than the grater. Then you just want to cut it into chunks. It doesn't really matter the size of the chunks because you're going to blend all the soup up anyway, so they don't need to be bite size, but it is helpful if they're all similarly sized because then they'll cook at the same speed. So add your onion to a medium heat pan with a little oil in it. Then add your minced garlic. Then you want to add in half a teaspoon of thyme. I use dried. If you have fresh, even better. Then just a little bit of salt and pepper. Once it's browned up a bit, then we're ready to add in our butternut squash. Then we want to just mix all the thyme and onion mixture and coat all the butternut squash. Then you just want to cover the squash with your vegetable broth. I mean, here it doesn't have to be an exact measurement. We just want it to be covered, not swimming in it. And it just depends on the size of your squash, how much veggie broth you're going to need. So it's not really an exact measurement. But you could always add water if you're short on broth. It's pretty forgiving. At this point, I have brought the soup to a boil and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Once the squash is soft and you can stab your fork through it easily, it's done. At this point, you can add in the coconut milk. So once it's done, you just transfer all of it, or if your food processor blender isn't large enough, you can do it in sections. So just blend until well combined, probably like 30 seconds or a minute. Transfer to a bowl, top with croutons or cheese, add more salt to taste. So I think this soup is so delicious and creamy and really just simple. It has just a beautiful taste of the butternut squash, and you can't really beat that when it's homegrown and super fresh from the garden. Enjoy!